Welcome to the deep dive. So today's mission, it comes from a listener actually who shared their experience with TriNet. That's a professional employer organization, a PEO. And we're diving into a pretty big question for small businesses. Does outsourcing your HR stuff to a PEO like TriNet genuinely save you from paperwork headaches? Or, well, does it maybe create a whole new expensive kind of mess?
Yeah, TriNet really seems to aim for companies in that 5 to 50 employee range. That's kind of their sweet spot. And the promise they make, it's pretty big. They act as a co-employer, right? Taking over payroll, benefits, compliance stuff. And the cost is typically like $100 to $150 per employee per month.
Right, per head. And look, that pitch, it sounds really compelling. I mean, if you're a founder, maybe suddenly you're hiring people remotely across different states. The idea of someone else handling all that multi-state payroll compliance, plus maybe getting better health insurance rates because you're pooled, that sounds like a lifesaver.
It really does sound good. But here's something really crucial we need to flag right away. When you sign up with the PEO, you're entering a co-employment relationship. That's key. It means you're actually sharing the liability for, regulatory compliance. If things go wrong, the government, they can still come after your business. That's the risk Trinet takes on, theoretically, but sometimes it seems it gets passed back.
Okay, right. That co-employment piece is important.
Yeah.
So let's shift from the shiny promise to what users are actually saying based on our sources.
Yeah.
Starting with, well, the Staver shock. We have to talk about this platform innovation fee.
Yeah, the name itself is kind of interesting, isn't it? But what it boils down to from what we're seeing is basically an extra charge. It's mandatory, pops up mid-contract, often with very little heads up. Sometimes the notice is buried deep in a spam folder or something. You saw examples like one user got hit with an extra $676 and another with like $1,000.
And the way they collect it sounds aggressive. It's reportedly just taken straight from your bank account. One source called that weapons-grade audacity, which, I mean,
Yeah, exactly. And think about the timing. If you don't catch that withdrawal right away, your payroll amount is suddenly short, which means your employees might not get paid correctly or on time. That's a huge cash flow risk, right?
definitely a disaster waiting to happen. Okay, so beyond surprise fees, there's another major issue. Tax compliance problems.
Yes, this is serious. We saw reports where users claimed TriNet filed the wrong unemployment insurance rates, the UI rates, with state agencies, and this was apparently after the business owner had given them the correct documentation.
Oh, wow. So the business owner did their part.
Seems so in these cases, but the alleged error meant the client business then faced penalties from the state.
And because of that co-employment thing you mentioned, those penalties land right back on the client's doorstep.
Precisely. You're on the hook, and it gets worse. We also saw reports about payroll tax issues because TriNet supposedly failed to properly verify a federal employer identification number, an FAI.
Okay, for listeners maybe not deep in payroll, why is messing up the FEI and verification so bad?
Well, basically, if that number isn't verified correctly, the IRS or the state tax authority, they just reject the tax payments TriNet tries to make for you. So that tax money, it doesn't get paid. The liability immediately bounces back to the client company.
That sounds like absolute chaos.
It is. Immediate cash flow problems, plus think about employee trust. Their tax withholdings are suddenly all wrong. It's a nightmare.
And when these kinds of errors happen, getting help sounds inconsistent. Like
What?
the support experience is a bit of a coin flip.
Yeah, some users said it was okay, but others found the platform itself felt kind of clunky or dated, especially compared to newer options like, say, Gusto or Rippling. People mention waiting months just for basic features sometimes.
Huh. And this detail also caught my eye. Employees apparently can only see their pay stubs on the actual payday, not before.
Right, it seems like a small thing, but in today's world, that feels like an odd limitation, especially for a tech platform promising, innovation. A bit of unnecessary friction there.
So let's distill this down. For you, the listener, what are the key takeaways here? If you're thinking about a PEO, number one, definitely get everything about fees crystal clear in writing, and maybe specifically ask about any possible platform innovation charges or similar fees.
Absolutely. And you have to be proactive. Check reviews like on Trustpilot or the BBB, sure. But also, you need to watch your bank account like a hawk. Verify every single invoice, every deduction. Remember that co-employment lesson? Their mistake doesn't mean you're off the hook. The government finds you first. Then you fight to get it back.
Okay. And if all this risk around surprise fees and tax errors just feels like too much, the sources we looked at often mentioned alternatives like Gusto or Rippling, usually highlighting their more transparent pricing as a key difference.
Yeah, which brings us to the final thought, really. It's this core trade-off, convenience versus control. Outsourcing critical things like payroll and taxes saves time, yes. But what's the real cost if you aren't double-checking everything yourself? How do you actually measure the risk of these unexpected penalties versus the convenience? That's the calculation you have to make. How do you balance needing help with doing that essential due diligence?
That balance, convenience versus control, it really is everything, isn't it? Something to think about. Until next time, keep questioning the systems you rely on.